Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I'm in Florida and I should be out doing something fun. It's actually nighttime. You guys can probably see that from the window behind me. Anyways, I'm doing a Q&A. Okay, so you can ask questions on your Instagram stories. So basically, I told people to ask me questions for a Q&A, and I got some questions. So yeah, let's dig in. So the first one is, who is your biggest inspiration? So for flips, my biggest inspiration would probably have to be like Solo Flow, because I just love like his style. Like everything looks so easy for him to do, but it's such high level stuff that it's super inspiring to me there. And then for videos, these are like basic answers, but it would probably be Sam Colder, just because like he lives the life, and if I could be doing anything, it'd be doing what he does. So basically that. Do you even gains? Bro, like, you know I don't. I've been trying to go back to the gym, but it's just not working. I'm gonna be small forever. Okay, next question. Are you a Fortnite god? I'm sorry to break it to you guys, but I'm actually not into Fortnite like at all. Like, I think I've played like 3 times in my life, and the closest I've come is like 2nd place. So no, I'm not a Fortnite god. I'm gonna zoom this in a little bit closer up. I just thought it was too wide. You're hot. That's not a question. Next question. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, I guess. I'm not. Next one kind of goes along with that. Can you be my dad? You know, I'm actually already Nidal's dad, and I'm also Penwill's dad. I've already adopted 2 children. But yeah, I'll adopt you, Jet. You can join the family. Next question is also by Jet, and it's, will you come to Texas? And if he's being for real, hopefully someday. I'm gonna try to make a trip down there, like hopefully next year. I don't really have the money at all to come this year, or the time to do it. So hopefully next year, if I have any money, I'll definitely try to make it out. If I was going anywhere except for like California or like South Carolina, it would be Texas, because Texas is a dope place. So hopefully, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? That I think about like all the time, because like I just like imagine like if I were to blow up, I want to know like where I would live. And it's a really hard question, because I love California, because it's just like there's so many people there, and it's dope. But at the same time, it's like I don't like the type of people who live there a lot of the times. You know what I mean? And then like I just hate how all the dope places are like really sketchy to live in. Like you can't live in like Costa Rica or like any of these amazing beautiful islands or anything, because they're always like taken over by like the mafia and shit. So it kind of sucks. But if I could live anywhere, it'd probably be California, even though my heart's not set there. There's just so much going on there all the time that I would just love to be there. Next question is the most embarrassing childhood memory. That's a good question. I don't have an answer off the top of my head. Here's one that like just, it's like the only thing I can think of that's embarrassing that like sticks out in my head. I know there's tons, but I can never think of it on the spot. But this one in particular is pretty funny. So I was maybe like 5, and we were at a restaurant for my grandfather's birthday, and they had like a card on the table that said his name, and his name is Rich. And for some reason in my head, I was like, oh, it says bitch. So I was like, oh, I get it. It says bitch, cause he's a bitch. And I was literally just saying that out loud at a family dinner, and I'm like 5, and my mom just gives me this death stare, like, what the f are you saying? She just was so confused. She was like, what are you doing? And I later found out that it said rich, not bitch. So yeah, I guess you could say that's embarrassing. But yeah, that's the only thing I can think of right now. Next question is from my friend Eddie. What kind of mentality do you need to be successful in social media? First off, I don't know why you'd ask me, because clearly it's not working. But from what I've seen and what I've basically what I've accumulated from like 5 years on social media, you need to be thinking of like social media like all the time. Like if you're trying to really get big on social media, it needs to be like in all aspects of your life. You need to think about like new ideas, ways you can improve your content, ways you can spread out your reach, the ways you can expand your personality to appeal to other people. You need to be thinking about like just social media all the time, and it's kind of corrupting to your personality and to why people subscribe to you in the first place, is because like you end up putting so much of yourself into trying to please and trying to like create better stuff that you become a different person. But to become better at social media, you really just need to invest yourself into your product, and that's how you progress. You also need to be consistent. It's not a mentality, but you also need to be consistent. Like having an upload schedule has helped my channel so much. Like I've gained almost 200 followers in a month and a half just from starting on a schedule. Like other factors play into that, but having a schedule is very important. Everybody says it, and it's very true. Having a schedule is important. So those 2 tips should help you get off the ground on social media. Also just having quality content, but that's not a mentality. What's your longest relationship? I was in a relationship for like 2 years-ish. I dated this girl for like a year and a half-ish straight, and then we broke up, and it was just on and off after that. And she ended up like hooking up with one of my like really close friends. Needless to say, we're not close friends anymore. That's like a couple months ago. That's why it was like the hardest part of my life, and it's still kind of rough, but yeah, a couple months ago, she didn't cheat on me, but she hooked up with one of my close friends. So yeah, that's the longest relationship, I guess. I don't know, that took a turn. I'm sorry guys, but it was a rough situation, and yeah, I learned a lot from that. So that was my longest relationship, unfortunately. Wish I could take that one back. How much longer left until you can flip again? I can't flip until about halfway through October, I think. My doctor will tell me when I'm cleared, but basically he said it'd be like 6 months. And I got my surgery in April, like April 15th I think it was, so like halfway through the month in April. And so 6 months from then would be October. So yeah, October-ish, hopefully. So yeah, 3 months that would be. Sorry, I didn't answer the question. What's your favorite trick? When it comes to like ground, my favorite trick is probably either flash kick or Webster, just because they're like fun to like do wherever. Like you can just bust that out like on concrete, on like whatever, it doesn't matter. Like you can like whatever you want. You can just do a Webster or a flash kick, and those are like my favorite. But when it comes to like harder tricks, it would probably have to be like standing double back on the trampoline or like round off double full. Like those are my 2 favorite harder tricks. They're not really that hard, but it's like my skill level, I guess. Anyways, what keeps you going? I like that question a lot. What keeps me going is the possibilities. You know, like I've been on YouTube since 2012, so we're coming up on 6 years on YouTube, and that's like a big like that's a long time. Like that is almost the majority of my life. Like that is like about 40% of my life I've spent making these videos. So like there's got to be things that keep me going. And I'd say the biggest thing is the possibility. You know, like the possibility that one of these videos that I make could just blow up, and it could change my life forever. I've seen it happen to so many people, and their lives are changed forever. They go from living in a small town to living in a mansion in California, and it's insane. And just that possibility of maybe that could happen to me is what keeps me going. Cody said, what a hoe. Yeah, that's me. Tom said, hi, how are you? What's your number and what's your social security number? My number is 2. Next question, what was the hardest flip to learn? The hardest the hardest flip to get over mentally and like to get myself to commit to was probably double backflip. It's just like a really hard trick to like get yourself to commit to. And from the first time I ever set double back to the first time I ever threw it was probably about 2 years. So yeah, it's really hard to get yourself to commit to it. But it's not actually a hard flip to do. But the hardest flip to do physically probably surprisingly been like standing full or cork. Because when it comes to like knowing exactly where to place your body and exactly like where to throw your momentum and everything, it's really hard. Like I probably have like a couple thousand attempts in my belt on cork, and standing full still hasn't clicked for me. I've landed a ton, but does not click for me. And I've also tried that one a couple hundred times. So those are like the two hardest tricks, like physically, because they just like don't make sense. But once you figure them out, they're pretty easy. Like cork is basic. Like after not being able to flip for 4 months from January to April, I did a corkscrew first try. So it's easy once you know how to do it, but like physically figuring it out and getting your muscle memory to figure it out is really hard for cork and standing full. So that's probably the hardest flip to learn. So yeah, I think this video has been long enough. Those are all the questions I have for you today. I might do more of these more often depending on if people like it. I love answering questions for you guys because it's kind of tiring like writing out the same answer to the same question all the time. But if you guys want me to do more, comment down below and I'll definitely do more. And if you comment down below questions down on this video, I'll answer them in the next one if I do one. So yeah, that's basically it. And as always, see you guys later. Bye.